And the other thing is I've been in hundreds, if not thousands of homes in this city. People know me. Rick.
Bobby, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things report about the budget. You know, first of all, I supported you in 2002 when you ran the first time. And back then, you remember me speaking about stormwater. Jessica, I think you were 11 years old at that time when I was speaking about stormwater. Just so you know that. By the way, I was
Not that young, Rick.
What you're saying, Rick, you're a lot older these days.
Yeah, I'm hoping now, but I am. So, but I'm not a lot older, because I'm here speaking about the same things again. I'm here to talk about stormwater, Bobby. You've been there for 14 years now. You've heard me scream at the top of my lungs about it. You've heard me talk about the ocean front and proving everybody right about the room rentals going down. You've heard me talk about socialism and public-private partnerships that are not working. You don't even have a performer in the city of Virginia Beach to prove that these things are working. You heard me speak against the convention center that hasn't worked. You heard me speak against the other projects that are not working. You now approve a project or CIP and capital improvement projects of almost $200 million. $200 million, that there's no proof that any of that will work. And there will be a tax increase to cover that because there is no net gain for the city on that. I've been talking about that for years. And here we are. Problem I have right now is we're talking about the same old stuff over and over again with the same old people making decisions. It's sort of like the fox watching the hen house. And here we go again. I hear a lot of things from you, Bobby. I've seen not many actions. And by the way, I can win mayor for $50,000.
I'm just going to interrupt because at the end of the meeting is when the candidates have their opportunity to speak. And to be honest, Rick, that was a promo for you. So these are comments and questions, and there were people that had their hands up before you, bless your heart. You know, I like you, but we're going to go back to the question.
Okay, but if I could just make a quick response about not...
But here's a question, though. Here's a question. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to stop the increase? It's more than that, Bobby. It's the budget. Since 2002, the budget's went from $900 million to $2.1 billion. That's what I want to know. What are you going to do about? What is the plan? What are you going to do to stop that? It is a question.
Rick, I just said at the beginning of my speech that we're going to change the process. I was not in the position of being one of 11 to do that. If you remember, I was the lone nay vote on the Cavalier Hotel. I have voted consistently against the projects at Town Center. I can only do so much as one of 11, but if I am blessed and allowed to be mayor in this town, I will have more of a, dare I say, bully pulpit.
What's the plan? Just tell me the plan.
Change the budget process, bring people to the table for input. And as we go forward, you'll hear a lot more. But Rick, you and I can talk. Let's be respectful to the people.
Okay. I have been a resident of the Bayside area since 1971, so that's 40 plus years. And I would like to know, and this has been going on since John, and I cannot think of his last name, was on council back then, and it's about Burton Station. Every time something comes up, oh, we've got to help Burton Station. Y'all have never, ever, and you've done some, they have water or sewer or whatever. But just like when they were building the mall there, oh, we can't bother the people in Burton Station. We can't bother them. Anytime there's something like that, I want to know an update on those poor people and what's going on in Burton Station that has been on the table for 40 plus years.
You're probably talking about John Baum from way back then.
John who?
Baum?
No, it was a black city councilman.
Okay.
I forget his name. See,
recall.
y'all are so young, you don't remember. But I'm not.
No, and you don't either.
In 1986.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
And
I
can't think of
cannot
his name
remember.
either.
Becky Livis is his daughter.
Well, you know, Sandy, let me put it this, you know.
I'm sick.
I was just gonna say, I was at the SGA office 2 weeks ago, and there's a lot going on at Burton Station in terms of the strategic growth area. I was at the L&J Garden Civic League meeting. They are heavily impacted by that development project. The impression that was left with me after I got done talking with them was that they're so unhappy with the traffic on Hampton Boulevard that they actually welcome the city coming in and picking up all that property and developing it just because they want out of their houses.
Well, I don't understand why it has taken 40-some years for those poor people over there and nothing.
When I was
Because
at,
there are only 20 homes over there, and it is not a voting block that is
That's right.
worthy of
That's right.
attention. You're exactly right.
Yes.
when I
And
was at,
so you, just
it's lower
because
income.
of that, oh, this small community, those people are not any less important than me or the people down at the ocean front.
Oh, no, the ocean front is way more important.
No, I'm
It's
saying,
way more important. No, you've got this all wrong. The ocean front is way, way
Tim,
more
you had a
important.
question, and then Virginia had a question.
John Herrick.
well, I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer from y'all what is being done at this moment.
The only thing that's being done is that it is a strategic growth area. They're trying to develop it into
That's-
mixed use.
For
And
40 years,
that's the only thing that's being done. I mean, that is that flat answer. We have not gotten a brief recently on Burton.
I know, because nobody cares about it.
I'll answer that in my campaign update, but Mary Ann would get mad at me if I
It's
put it.
Marlena.
Marlena.
Tim, Virginia, and,
I was just raising my hand for Sandy.
no.
Because y'all are
Okay.
Marlena.
Virginia.
Virginia.
Oh, sorry, Virginia.
Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry.
I want to get back to, you guys are my council members right now, and that is my future candidate here. But on Tuesday, okay, going back to the operating and CIP budget, okay, I understand that you've basically been sucker punched back into a corner. You have to do what you have to do in order to get a little, hey, we win something during election season. So moving forward on Tuesday, I ask that you make a motion and do a operating budget vote and a CIP vote. That way, you can all have a chance to explain your positions on that, and we can have that recorded through YouTube, and we can make, people like me, I sit around and I know how to make videos of little snippets of what you say and push that out there for when campaign time comes, because I want to see more of what I appreciate being represented on the council, and I don't believe that it is right now. So I think it's really important for you two and Mr. Moss to be able to speak toward why you would, if you have to vote for that CIP budget, then why would you? And I think it's going to be very helpful for the public to understand that, because right now, I mean, I called Jessica the other day and I said, if John Moss votes for that CIP budget, I can't vote for him, because he's been talking about, you know, not supporting the sports center, and then all of a sudden he's going to support the sports center. So she calls me and explains to me what's going on, and that kind of helped me understand a little bit more. Like maybe I should vote for, I don't know, you know. So it really is good for the public to hear that, and for us to know your position, and for you to have the time. And I know last year, Mr. Dyer, you took a lot of time and explained your position before you didn't vote on that operating budget.
Yeah, and I traditionally do that.
Yeah, and I went back and listened to that the other day, and it was really helpful to listen to that and just kind of see, you know, remember where you were, and I hear those same things coming out of your mouth today too. So that's very helpful to me as a voter, and just as, you know, for you as a representative to know you're still on the same path. You really haven't veered from where you were last year with that. So I was asking you to explain, you know.
I think we can commit to definitely
Yeah.
separating them out. And just for the record, I'm not for reelection.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
Just so everybody knows.
But like I said, I did ask Virginia to sit on my steering committee, and I still hope she does. I'm putting together an eclectic group of people that represent a variety of opinions, and we're going to have people on our my steering committee that necessarily maybe have never spoke to each other before. But the whole thing is going to be about dialogue. It's going to be about building bridges and building trust and being consistent going forward.
But a second, I have one more quick thing.
Sure.
I wanted to speak on what Marsh brought up about reserves. And, you know, I'm pretty new to CAFR as of this week and studying it. And so, and I'm finding a lot of information on those reserves. And I'm flabbergasted. I really am. I'm flabbergasted that $9.5 million of the TIP reserve, TIP fund, is appropriated for FY19, but yet none of that reserve is being used for the TIP fund. You're gonna raise taxes on the TIP fund, taxes in TIP fund, but you're not gonna use any of the previous reserves from that TIP fund to pay for the things that the TIP fund used to do, like sparkling sidewalks at the ocean front, okay? So I'm just like, what the heck is going on with that? Why are we not doing those things, you know? Or are there rules that say you can't do it, or?
As I said in the beginning, budgeting is an incredibly flawed process in the city. Okay, it's got to change. It's got to become transparent. With Reed, we were talking about whether the CIP or the other thing, even with the operating budget, coming up with different processes that are more transparent and show exactly what's going on from a business model. Right now I think there's kind of a divide and conquer strategy that goes on, because by keeping people either ill-informed or in some cases over-informed, things fall between the cracks. We're a part-time city council.
Right.
We're working with
But can you
full-time
move
staff.
the tip money around or not? I mean, is there a reason you can't move the tip?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the type of thing, once again, and I'm not making excuses, we're at the end of the budget process right now. I want to start the budget process in January. And that way it'll be well articulated, we'll find out what's going on, and let's find ways to improve it that really works to eliminate and be efficient. A couple of years ago, we did a blue ribbon panel, and one of the guys we had on it was a former CEO of Oceana, and he was told, reduce your budget by 15% and keep the airplanes in the air. And he told us how we did it. You realize the intellectual capital that we got in this city, how many smart people that we can bring to the table to help out. You have my commitment on that.
Bobby, on that transparency issue, two questions. This is something our Tea Party Budget Committee had put together. The idea of having something on the city's website, some type of visual aid or a debt clock or something that will help educate citizens about how much debt. Okay, so that's one. And then secondly, Goochland County has an online checkbook, and credit card register where they have Excel spreadsheets where you can go and see how every single dollar of our money is spent. Would y'all support implementing both of those?
The checkbook's supposed to go online.
They're saying it's coming, which is good news. But how about the debt clock? How about something that would help, including the VBTA? That's very important. We're on the hook for it. People don't even know who the VBTA is and what they're doing, what their role is.
I have absolutely no problem, anything to do with transparency. And, I coined the phrase about a year ago, good government should never fear an engaged and educated public, they should embrace it. And I started a number of, things with that name.
Reed,
Wait, did you have a question?
I did have a
Bobby,
question.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I have an answer to your question real quick. So part of the compromise budget is going to eliminate the $1 per month increase on solid waste collection fee, and instead the TIP fund will make a one-time contribution of $1.4 million to assist with the recapitalization of the fleet within waste management. So the answer to your question is
Yes.
yes. We can use the TIP money.
That's the answer to the
But
question.
the problem
Yes.
is that you then have to get everybody on board with using TIP money.
But the answer is
The
yes.
answer is
But it
yes.
can't be used for
Correct.
the entire city, because the
Yes.
entire city contributes to it.
It's exposed.
So, wait, really, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. So my question is changing the topic, but it's still very relevant. I speak to a lot of the small business owners in the city of Virginia Beach. And being a former small business owner, this is a little more true to my heart. But they are in fear of retribution if they do anything against the current regime of our city council. And there are many of them that have said they would donate to John Moss's campaign. They would donate to other people's campaign that would be here, and they are literally in fear. If they put a sign in their business window, they'll get audited by the city. And personally, I got audited with my small business 3 times, and I got 3 health inspections in 1 year. I mean, of course they didn't find anything wrong with whatever, but my point is,
It's the harassment, it's the audits, it's the fear of retribution. Like if you want to expand your business, all of a sudden your permits get held up. I mean, there are a lot of people that are solid, good people working for this city. And I don't want to disparage them and lump them into a group. But there are people that got their job or appointed to positions because they will do bidding of a current regime. And this is the thing that needs to change as well. Because when you go around from shopping center to shopping center and you see vacancies, it's not just hurting the small business community, it's hurting the landlord of that property. You know, somebody's got to pay the taxes, and every time you raise property tax, the landlord of the property trickles that down to the people that actually own the business. So this is a big problem as well in this city, that we need to protect our small mom and pop shops, and we want to encourage them to open, you know, more businesses, like the guy with Why Not Pizza. What a great chain that is. And there's several all over Virginia Beach, there's some in Norfolk. We need to encourage that, not inhibit it because you have to play ball with the regime in order to get anything done as far as being a business owner.
Yeah, just so you know, Tony from Why Not Pizza is on my steering committee. Exactly that reason. The fact that he's from New Jersey and a Giant fan, that's absolutely. But let me just say, my process improvement team, you know, worked on. We actually did this study and found out the barriers and everything. And yes, I will admit there is retaliation out there. I'll give you a perfect example, if you don't mind me, you know, consuming some time here, but it's important. I do all the ribbon cuttings at the Asian Nail and Gourmet Cupcake places, okay? I am a big believer in small business. And I did one at a place called Dickie's Barbecue on Laskin Road. I said, boy, this is great. Would you mind coming to Woods Corner? And, you know, because Woods Corner needed a business there because CC's went out of business. So they came there and they renovated and put a fortune in. And I was still teaching at Region at the time, and I got a phone call from one of my students saying, Dr. Dyer, you're not going to believe this city closed them down on the day of the grand opening. Okay? So I went there. There were like 50 people outside, big sign out. The city of Virginia Beach is closing this establishment. Okay? Turns out that the mechanical inspector told him to do something with the hood over the stove, and the electric inspector came in and flunked him for doing exactly that. Okay?
That's ridiculous.
Okay, but it gets better, okay, or worse. So anyway, I came in and I got them to get a temporary certificate of occupancy. Mr. Dickey flew in from Dallas. I had a tremendous weekend. That Monday, every inspector at 9 o'clock, one after another, came and gave them a whole new list of stuff to do.
Oh my God.
Wrote it on a napkin, okay? And the message was, how dare you get a city council member involved. Tubby's Tavern, when they were doing their expansion, okay? They were having all kinds of problems. They called me, and once again, they got their chops busted. Yes, there is retaliation in Virginia Beach, and that's got to stop by changing the corporate culture. And the point is, we got to tell you what, we got a lousy reputation right now for doing business in the city of Virginia
Exactly.
Beach. You ask people. You know,
well, if you're not Bruce Thompson, you don't get it.
You know, Brad can attest to this. Yeah, but I'm just saying that, you know, our process team has been working on, you know, creating paths and, you know, pipelines. You know, we got to embrace small business. When I see in my district, when I see a vacancy, I take it personally. So trust me when I say.
So are you saying that the only way we're going to be able to protect small businesses from this type of regime or petty
it's been that
retaliation?
Way. It was the prior regime too.
Right, right. So we have to get the 6 votes on city council because these people cannot be exposed for what they've done. And I say that we need to go out on a full exposure, and if the news won't cover it, you can.
Let me put it this way. The largest percentage of my time as a city councilman, a local guy, and I'm sure Jess can tell you, are the small business people coming to me and saying, boy, we're having a problem. And what can you do? Council people shouldn't have to intercede, you know, on a business application. we should roll out the carpet.
That's right.
But that's not the corporate culture.